Welcome to our webinar about Testwell CTC++. During the next 20 minutes, I'm going to give you an overview about our code coverage analyzer tool and how it might fit into your environment. Some words about the background, about the company behind our tool. Verifysoft technology is located in the southwest of Germany. It's a German company in the Black Forest area. And we are a developing company. We have our own tools, the Testwell tools with Testwell CTC++. We're talking about that today, and a metrics tool, Testwell CMT++. Beside that, we are also distributor for Grammatech and for Imagix, offering tools around static code analysis and architecture visualization. And the third part of our company is we are a provider of seminars and trainings for our own tools, for Testwell tools, for example, also for CodeSonar from Grammatech, but also about general testing topics and requirements engineering topics and so on. And my name is Sabine Pöhler. I'm responsible as a product manager for the Testwell tools, and I'm head of the development and the support team. At the beginning, I would like to give you an overview how Testwell CTC++ works in general. Code coverage is a measure that focuses on the tests of a software, a part of a software or a full program or something like that. And code coverage gives you an overview how many parts of your programs have been tested and which parts of the programs have been tested and or not. Testwell CTC++ is a tool that instruments the program to analyze the code coverage. There are other tools in the market that are making a binary analysis, but Testwell CTC++ starts at the very beginning with the source code of the program. In the next step, the tests are executed, and very important for you is they are executed as usual. So we have no restrictions, no limitation how you perform your tests. That might be unit tests, that can be system or integration tests, that does not matter. With an instrumented version of the program or an instrumented version of part of your program, the tests are executed as usual. And with that information, Testwell CTC++ generates reports giving you insight about the code coverage of your tests against your program. During the next steps, I would like to set the focus on 5 aspects of CTC++, showing that it is a very strong tool for hopefully your needs and for your environment. At first, we are looking on the right-hand side to coverage measures and what CTC++ does there. On the left-hand side, you see typical coverage measures from function coverage, very low measure, over decision or branch coverage up to MCDC or multi-condition coverage. If you are working in the safety-critical software development, several safety standards require that you measure code coverage. And MCDC is the highest coverage level requested by the standards. But beyond that, CTC++ also offers multi-condition coverage. Multi-condition coverage is sometimes easier to understand for the tester, for the developer. You have more test cases typically that are required, but MCDC is the most complex coverage level when it comes to understanding for people working with it. Our tool offers every coverage level that is required in that safety critical world or by your internal requirements. If you need to qualify Testwell CTC++ because it's required by the standards, then we also offer a qualification kit. Let's look at the next aspect. Testwell CTC++ works with all compilers and it works at all targets, and I would like to explain why this is the case and what that means for you. First of all, we now see a closer look at how CTC works, where in the process it steps in. During the compilation, CTC enriches the code with counters. That's what instrumentation means. And very important is we work with every compiler, every cross-compiler for C, C++ language family. The compilers are just configured. It's not a question of coding from our side, but it's a question of configuration. And during the years, we collected many configuration setups that are already done and are delivered to you if you are going to become our customer. And if you ever have a compiler we do not know yet, Verifysoft is responsible together with you to configure new compilers. If you have an instrumented version of your program, the tests can be run anywhere. In my example, for perhaps on the target, on your embedded target, or in a simulation on the host, or it is a host program and not a program for an embedded target. This does not matter. The tests are executed. And again, we do not have any special conditions or any restrictions that limits the typical way you perform your tests. If you are developing in the embedded world, then it is the important question is how do the raw data from the test runs about code coverage, how do this data come back to your host machine? And this is one of the strengths of Testwell CTC++, because we deliver the responsible runtime library. We deliver it as plain C code, and we have some default implementations giving you, for example, the possibility to write the coverage data to the file system if you have one on your target. But there are other possibilities. You can write it to the host directly, or you can leave the data in an array and read that array with a debugger. So for this stage, you are really not limited in any way. You can decide what possibility fits to your target and to your needs and to your communication possibilities from the target to the host. Then if all the testing is done, you need some reports, and the reports from Testwell CTC++ are very user-friendly and easy to read. I show you an example. In this example, we see a table view with an overview about the coverage per function. Each line of the table represents a function. You see the name of the function at the right-hand side, and we see two coverage levels. That is up to the choice of the user. In this example, we see multi-condition coverage and statement coverage, and we see it as a percentage and also as the absolute data. So 4 from 8 points in the first line have been tested with regard to multi-condition coverage. That gives 50% coverage ratio. And there are many of these kind of overviews, and you can always make a drill down to a single function, for example, or to a single file, and then you get into the source code view of our coverage reports. And in the source code view, in this example, we show the function lights. And in the source code view, you see several information. First of all, you see your original source code highlighted in green and red. This line coverage gives you a fast visual indication which part of the code has been executed and which part hasn't been executed. And on the left-hand side, you see an additional table showing you the hits or the true and the false counters of a certain point in your code. For example, in line 6 of this code example, we have an if statement, and the numbers aside means that this if decision has been executed as true 0 times, and it has been executed as false for 21 times. Then, typically, very important for all our customers is the question, how does Testwell CTC++ integrate in a typical setup from a development team or a testing team for build integration and so on. So we'll look at integrations. There are several third-party tools, typical tools we have to consider here. The first one, of course, Testwell CTC++ has to integrate with build systems. At the deep level, at the core, Testwell CTC++ interacts with a compiler, with a compiling process, but in real life, in everyday building your program, your system, you do not interact with the compiler directly, but you are using one or several build systems, either written on your own, some batch scripts, for example, in simple cases, or a combination of CMake and Ninja, for example, and so on. And one very important strength of CTC++ is that we have several tools and possibilities available to integrate with these build systems without the need to do something with the build scripts, for example, every time. It's typically a one-time setup that you make it running, and then you can use your make files, for example, or your scripts and so on with CTC. And it just works then and gives you the possibility to decide if you would like to make a standard build or an instrumented build. Then, very close to the build systems, but also a little bit different, are the IDEs. Of course, they have a build system in the background. For Visual Studio for example, we have a graphical user interface, so you can trigger and choose all options for CTC++ directly in the IDE, and then you make an instrumented build, and of course the integration with MS Build in this example comes into play again. That also is true for IAR Embedded Workbench. We have several IDEs that you can on your own configure the easy use of CTC++, like Eclipse, for example, and so on. The next question, if you're using other tools from third-party, dashboard tools like SonarCube, for example, or an automation of your build process with Jenkins, or we have partner companies with TPT, for example, or former Qtronic with a Testweaver, and in several tools, these are only examples. CTC++ is integrated. There's an integration from our side or an integration from the tool vendor side, and it works smoothly together. And you can have either with Jenkins, for example, the automation of the build process. In this case, CTC integrates into the process of Jenkins. And in other cases, like for SonarCube, you can make the coverage reports available in SonarCube. What else? You have your own tool chain, so that's more generic aspect I would like to talk about here. The point is CTC++ consists of several independent command line based tools, and this architecture gives you the possibility to integrate wherever you want. It's very flexible. There's always one tool for one aspect, for one feature or need in CTC, and you can decide and put the tool chain together in the way that fits to your own tool chain. And at the end of that part, it's not about the tool itself, but it's about the company behind. We offer you a very qualified support around the tool, and I would like to talk about that aspect. There are 4 pictures. Perhaps hopefully you're interested what the dinosaur means. But let's start at the top and on the left side. Of course, we offer technical support. We are not an open source tool. We are a proprietary tool with a strong company behind, with a strong support team behind that lead you to the introduction of Testwell CTC++, that helps you in any case if something unexpected occurs. You can call us, you can write an email to us, and we reply very fast and with a very deep knowledge about the tool. We also offer consulting, so if you do not have technical problems, but you would like to know how shall I use CTC, or how shall I do a rollout in my company with 200 developers or something like that, we are very happy to assist you with insights, with ideas from our experience with our customers. And when I talk about experience, I come to the dinosaur picture. We have 17 plus 13 years of experience. What do I mean with that? Perhaps you wondered why the tools are called Testwell and our company is called Verifysoft. Testwell is the original company that invented Testwell CTC++. It was based in Finland and started that development at the end of the 1980s. So the tool is more than 30 years old. And in 2003, Verifysoft was founded, and in 2013, Verifysoft purchased the tool. And from that time, we are developing the tool further. We are developing it for the future, but we have that strong history behind us. It's a very, from one aspect, it's a very traditional, very often used tool, deeply nested into the automotive world, for example, in Germany. And at the very same time, we have an ongoing active development with a highly motivated development team in Germany, in Offenburg. And so we have many plans for the future. So with Testwell CTC++, you have both. You have the experience, you have a good, reliable tool that is proven in use, and you have a team actively working on it and improving it in the future. Now about another topic. How do our customers typically use it? And the question is quite difficult because it's used in many, many ways. Who is using it? When is it used? And I only would like to show you some possibilities or some ways we learned how our customers use it. Often it comes into the game when someone really needs code coverage. When they kind of knew, okay, with the next release we have to do a certification internally or externally for their own software. And then they know they need code coverage, and then it's quite project-driven, like task force kind of way to do it. It's at the end, the development is perhaps already over, or at the very end of the development process. And perhaps later, this kind of companies that introduced CTC when it was really necessary come to the conclusion that it's better to do it in an everyday business. And then we see again a distinction. For some companies, the developers are responsible. That's typically the case when code coverage is done during unit tests. And others locate it or give the responsibility to testers, to a test or quality team. And then there's kind of the last picture. Of course, it's possible to integrate Testwell CTC++ in a development process that is highly automated, that works with many developers, that works in a continuous integration environment where you have fully automated your testing perhaps, and then also the code coverage part can come as the last step, as the part of the test automation, and you get in an automated way your reports at the location you would like them to have. And this works very smoothly and part of what our customers are doing, especially during the last years, of course. If you are interested in Testwell CTC++, if you are looking for a code coverage tool, what can we do for you? Our advice is compare it with other tools. We would not like to keep you from that. It's a good idea to compare it, to analyze what are really your needs, what do you need from a tool, in which environment are you working. And what Verify offers then is a free evaluation. That means you get a time-limited evaluation license, but the software behind is fully functional. You do not have any restriction during the evaluation, and you have full support. You can also get some consultancy or a presentation about the software. We are happy to help you through this phase of the evaluation. And then we strongly recommend to test the tool and also other tools in your environment if you can work with it, if all your users are happy, and we are happy to assist you in this phase. When I talk about we here, we are talking about Verifysoft, of course, the whole time, but also about LexingtonSoft. LexingtonSoft is our distributor and also your contact if you are in the United States or in India. All of us are very happy to support you. At any time you can write us an email if you have more questions, and we can have another call. We can also give a presentation for your company according to your needs about Testwell CTC++. So for the moment I would like to thank you for participating in this webinar and wish you a nice day and a nice working week. Thank you.